When my boyfriend had nothing, I gave up everything to help him start a business. But on the eve of the company going public, he held hands with my friend and said to me, "You're not qualified to be the wife of the CEO of a public company." I hung up the phone and hurried back to the company. As soon as I entered the front door, I was shocked. In the office, amidst a sea of red roses, Vincent, in a sharp suit, was on one knee holding a dark blue ring box. He was declaring his love to a woman in a white dress named Maria, asking her to marry him. Vincent tried to explain, but Maria interrupted. She then looked at me with a challenging smile before turning back to Vincent. I realized she deliberately wanted to embarrass me in front of everyone. In the midst of the gossip, Vincent and Maria walked over to me. Vincent declared his love for Maria in front of me, a man I had loved for 5 years, and a woman who was once my close friend. It felt like they were complete strangers now. Vincent tried to assure me that we were just boss and employee, and he promised a substantial bonus once the company went public. But he made it clear that I didn't have the status to be the wife of a CEO that was reserved for him and Maria. Seeing their affectionate display, I realized Vincent's true feelings. It was a love I would never receive. I decided to leave with my dignity intact. I called my father to come pick me up, announcing that I was done playing this game. Letting go of my pride, I walked away, wishing them happiness, but determined to reclaim my lost dignity. A pleasant woody fragrance caught my attention. I couldn't help but take a few more sniffs. But wait, why does my dad seem to have gotten taller? Can a person still grow at this age? Just as I furrowed my brow, puzzled, a light, clear laughter came from above. I froze. It seemed like I mistook my father for someone else. Vincent's frustrated voice rang out from behind. "Gloria, I can't believe you're like this. Just for money. You actually got yourself a sugar daddy?" Maria added fuel to the fire. "Gloria, if you need money, you can just tell us. How did you become so shameless?" I had no reaction, because I was still leaning in the other person's arms, debating whether I should apologize first, or should I explain to them first that this was just an innocent passerby. But before I could make a move, the other person acted first. He gently helped me up and then spoke in a warm tone. "Gloria, your father has a $1 billion contract to handle and couldn't make it. So, he asked me to pick you up." I breathed a sigh of relief. Who knew Vincent's face would darken even more? "I can't believe how vain you are. Ew. When did you hire someone to pretend and act this charade with you? Did you think by pretending to be a rich man's daughter, I would change my mind?" I decided to casually walk away. After all, Vincent's company is still dreaming of going public. There will be plenty of opportunities to meet in the future. Just as I lifted my foot to leave, Maria blocked my path. "Gloria, old friends. It doesn't matter if this person is a sugar daddy you found for money or you hired someone to act. It's not a good match either way." Next month, on the day the company goes public, it's also my engagement party with Vincent. I hope you can join. The people there are from a class you could never reach in your lifetime. Maybe someone could take a fancy to you. I strongly suspected Maria's construction materials must be as shoddy as Maria herself. Looking like a mess, can't even speak like a decent person. I turned to stare at her, a sly smirk on my lips. "Okay, I look forward to it. We have a long way ahead of us." Vincent and Maria, unwilling to give up, escorted me to the company door, looking like they were enjoying the show. I don't believe she even rented a car. Bet there's a tricycle parked outside the door. A stranger furrowed his brow at the two of them and uttered 2 words, "Noisy." Vincent and Maria were left speechless, and when they saw the Rolls-Royce Phantom parked in front of the building, their expressions turned all shades of red and blue. Vincent pointed at me, speechless with shock. I quickly encouraged him with a look. "That's right. Say it out loud. I really am a rich man's daughter." Vincent, unexpectedly, took a deep breath several times, pained and crestfallen. "I can't believe you are this extravagant. The rental fee alone probably equals 3 years of your salary." I got into the car petulantly. The phony dad very gentlemanly closed the door for me. I hit the gas, leaving them behind in a cloud of exhaust. I laughed heartily. After the laughter, I felt a bit awkward for throwing myself into someone's arms and calling them dad. So, I awkwardly said, "Sorry about that. I didn't see clearly just now." A deep voice from the man named Evan spoke. "Evan, I am a friend of your father's who just returned to the country today. When you called, he was busy, so I ended up picking you up. So, actually, I was already in an awkward situation when I called my dad to come pick me up, right?" I discreetly sized up the man, and upon closer inspection, He was quite handsome, with starry eyes and sharp features, a high nose bridge, and healthy wheat-colored skin. I was lost in my thoughts when Evan suddenly handed me a beautifully packaged box. I was stunned for a moment, then quickly took it. "What's this?" He gestured for me to open it. As I opened the box, I reservedly said, "It's so embarrassing to accept a gift on our first meeting." When I saw what was inside the box, I was baffled. "Thank you, I really like it, but why socks?" No matter how I pressed for an explanation, Evan just said, "If you don't remember, it's fine." When I returned to my mansion, my so-called father, who had supposedly gone to handle a billion-dollar contract, was sitting sternly in the living room, with a serious expression. If it weren't for a durian hidden underneath him, he still looked quite dignified. My mom was pouting, ignoring my dad's overly eager smile. Seeing me return, my dad, seemingly calm on the surface but actually as restless as a rabbit, got up abruptly from the durian. "You're back? I told you long ago that Vincent was not qualified to be your boyfriend." I pursed my lips. "I've told you before, don't make my mom angry." My dad, now visibly flustered, said with a hint of anger, "It's all because of you. Your mom insists that if I hadn't lent a hand to Maria and her family back then, they would have gone bankrupt long ago. And you wouldn't have been humiliated in public today either." Suddenly, a realization dawned on me. "Dad, I remember you had invested in their family back then, right?" My dad nodded. "Yes, they were struggling at the time, and after my investment, I became their largest shareholder. But at that time, you said you didn't want to mix money with the friendship between you and Maria. So, they still don't know why I decided to help them all of a sudden." Evan spoke up. "They've been experiencing cash flow problems recently. That's why they're looking for a promising stock to plug the hole. As for Vincent, he just thought my family was broke and wanted to find a rich man's daughter." I laughed. Let the hypocrites who pretend to love each other but have hidden motives realize each other's true faces. I can't wait for that. But before I could take any action, an explosive piece of news spread throughout the city. Early in the morning, as soon as I opened my eyes, I saw my mom's face hovering above me. Her eyes were fixed on me intensely, which startled me so much that I sat up abruptly with a scream. "Mom, you scare me." My mom, looking displeased, said, "You can actually sleep so soundly. You're almost a celebrity now." She then tossed her phone in front of me. When I took a look, I couldn't help but laugh. Vincent and Maria really went all out this time. These trending topics must have cost a fortune, right? The top hot search result was surprising me. Business elites announced their engagement. Power couple, accompanied by a photo of the two holding hands with loving gazes. It was truly nauseating. Others came forward to spread the truth. "Don't you know? The guy had a previous girlfriend who had no money and no prospects." Feeling Vincent's struggling startup wasn't enough, she actually found a sugar daddy. After being discovered, the two broke up. Now, they probably regret their decisions. This led to a wave of mocking comments. My mom was furious, but I was curious about one thing. Who paid for the trending topic? As far as I know, Vincent's company's financial situation is not looking good at the moment. Maria's family is also facing funding issues. Both of them must have gone all out to make a splash. Could it be that they both thought the other was wealthy? What kind of understanding is that? However, the trending topic they purchased only lasted about 10 minutes before being ruthlessly pushed off the trending list. Evan was the one responsible for this. If Vincent's trending topic was like a joke, then Evans was truly explosive news. In less than 5 minutes, the entire trending list was dominated by Evans' news. "Gloria, why haven't you come to work?" Vincent called me. "Are you alright?" I couldn't help but realize, relationships are indeed useful sometimes. Indeed, the documents for the company's IPO were something I had spent many days working on with others. Vincent simply signed a few papers without a clear idea of the specifics. Now that I've left, he probably can't handle it. Not to mention Maria, who is inexperienced. But at this point, does he still want to go public? I kindly reminded him. I suggest you don't bother trying to get that done. Who knows, maybe it won't be needed anymore. Some tasks, when delayed, end up being unnecessary. Vincent mistook my good intentions for ill wishes. "Gloria, how can you be so malicious? How dare you curse my company's IPO? Since you don't want to help me, fine, I won't give you another chance." After hanging up unilaterally, Vincent didn't give me a chance to speak. I finished my breakfast slowly, put on makeup, and had the driver take me to Vincent's company. After all, today's drama was worth watching. On the way, I called Evan. "Got a deal. Interested?" Sure enough, when I arrived at the company, all employees were anxiously watching the direction of the CEO's office. I opened the CEO's office door as if I owned the place and walked in. Maria was there, looking displeased. "What are you doing here? You're no longer part of the company. You're not qualified to be here." Ignoring her, I greeted my uncle familiarly. "Mr. John, long time no see. Vincent and Maria were stunned to see me chatting casually with Mr. John. I straightforwardly suggested, Mr. John, if you don't want to cooperate with Vincent, how about we find someone else? Mr. John smiled and said, any partner recommended by Gloria can't go wrong. I casually mentioned, Evan. Vincent and Maria watched in astonishment as Mr. John and I quickly settled the business. Mr. John was pleasantly surprised. We had just entered the game, and everyone was struggling to find suitable opportunities to connect. The chance I offered Mr. John was like handing him a ticket. With more cooperation opportunities in the future, it's a win-win situation. Mr. John left with a satisfied smile. The CEO's office does not have the best sound insulation. Almost every employee listened attentively without missing a word. The discussions were rife. Once Gloria left, trouble followed. What about the CEO and the heiress? Can't even handle such a small deal. Will the IPO be a bust? Vincent's expression grew darker, thinking I was his sugar baby for Evan's sake. Gloria, thinking you're all that just because of Evan's endorsement? Wait until he's done with you. Then we'll see where you end up. Maria promptly played the role of a supportive partner. Don't worry, Vincent. If this deal falls through, I'll go beg my parents. We'll make sure the company goes public one way or another. Just as Vincent looked deeply moved, Maria's parents miraculously appeared. Right before they burst into the CEO's office, Vincent still had a tender expression on his face, fearing their disapproval. With Maria's mom exclaiming, oh no. Pull the funding. Vincent, transfer Maria's dowry over. We need to cover the financial hole. Vincent's face showed visible affection. Maria asked urgently, what's going on? Everything was fine. Why would they withdraw their investment? Maria's mother was frantic. We just found out this morning. We haven't done anything to offend them, have we? Just then, she caught sight of me, and her face changed color. I immediately perked up. Was my identity about to be exposed? I had been waiting for this day forever. But to my surprise, Maria's mother just asked, what are you doing here? The CEO's office, is that a place you small fry like you can enter? How come no one suspects you at all? I knew it was time to leave when no one invited me to stay for dinner. As I was closing the door, I overheard Maria comforting her mother, it's okay. Maybe there's just a misunderstanding. I'll go talk to Uncle and sort it out. In my mind, I gave her a thumbs up. Your uncle is waiting for you. Good luck. Little did I know, Uncle didn't hear from Maria, but Vincent received a huge blow. I don't know when it started, but Evan started coming over to my house for dinner every day. He claimed he loved my mom's superb cooking skills. As I stared at the burnt base, banana egg stir-fry, bitter melon with radish, I started to doubt myself deeply. Maybe I couldn't appreciate the essence of my mom's cooking. My dad was pleased though. Finally, someone to share the burden. I was a little happy too, because Evan was a master manipulator. He always managed to swipe the dark dishes from my plate when my mom wasn't looking, eating them nonchalantly. Then he would casually serve me a dish I loved. Since he started coming over for meals, I'd gained at least 5 pounds. I noticed the way Evan looked at me, filled with indulgence. But I couldn't dare to hope. I had been wrong for 5 whole years. How could I easily give my heart away again? I brainwashed myself. Maybe Evan just sees me as a sister. Don't be presumptuous. On Christmas Eve, Evan arrived late for once. My mom, being all chatty, said, you're late today. Did you run into some trouble? Then she pinched my dad hard. My dad, with a strained voice, chimed in, yeah, if you have any problems, tell Uncle, we'll solve them together. Evan slowly spoke up. Maria's been coming to the office to pester me lately. Her parents even spread rumors that I came back to propose to her. My mom's face turned fierce as she grabbed a rolling pin, trying to steal my daughter, friend of her mom's friend's son. For some reason, hearing this news made me feel a bit uneasy, as if something that belonged to me had been claimed by someone else. Oddly enough, when Vincent and Maria were together, I didn't feel this way. Finishing the meal begrudgingly, I made my way back to my room, feeling downcast. After a while, I was almost asleep when there was a knock on the door. I called out, who is it? But there was no answer. I got up listlessly, opened the door, and was shocked. The entire house was decorated for Christmas, and it seemed like the scent of gingerbread men filled the air. A thud was heard, and something fell to the ground. I looked down to see a pair of Christmas stockings, stuffed with something. Could it be? I picked up the stocking and reached in. Inside was a gingerbread man doll, with round eyes and an upturned mouth. Instantly, a flood of memories rushed in. It was when I was 10 years old. My parents took me abroad for the first time, coincidentally over Christmas. My mom happily baked a bunch of gingerbread men for me to share with everyone. On the way, there was a man dressed as Santa Claus pulling a boy around my age towards a car. At that time, my mom enjoyed watching cop shows, so I was extra alert. My first thought was, someone's kidnapping a child. So, quick on my feet, I rushed up, grabbed the boy's other hand, and wailed, "You ate all my gingerbread men. I'll tell my dad on you. He's a police officer. He's gonna arrest you." In the chaos, the man realized it wasn't going well and fled. The boy's family rushed over, thanking me profusely. I earnestly told the boy, that was a fake Santa. Don't get confused. The boy's lip twitched. There's no Santa Claus in the world. I got angry. Nonsense. There is. I even got a Christmas gift from Santa this morning. I held up a gingerbread man to show him. Then I suddenly realized, have you never received a Christmas gift before? Then I'll give you this one. Remember, there are Santas in the world who will fulfill your wishes. With that, my mom dragged me away. Over time, this incident slowly faded from my memory. I clutched the gingerbread man and went downstairs. My parents had gone somewhere for some alone time. Only Evan sat under a Christmas tree, watching me. You said there will be a Santa Claus to fulfill my wishes. Can he please let Gloria take a look at me? I really like her. I've spent so many years making myself ready to take over the company sooner so I could transfer the business back to our country. But am I a bit late? Looking at Evan's nervous eyes, I smiled with tears. Not too early, not too late, just right. The day the news of my engagement to Evan was announced, the whole town was shocked. But I smartly didn't let Evan reveal my name, just stating there would be an engagement party next week for everyone to come and have a drink. People were not surprised. Gloria was known for being low-key. Vincent and Maria, in a mess of their own, still called to mock me, the woman Evan's keeping. She'll never be his wife. I drove with hand-free, listening to dogs barking while trying on wedding dresses. Vera Wang's handmade wedding dress could blind the dogs across the street. The secretary from Vincent's company quit and called to vent to me. She said the company was a mess without me. Maria was too busy to help Vincent, even hinting that Vincent should provide a hefty dowry for marrying up. Vincent was out searching for business opportunities, still dreaming of going public. But everyone could see it was not going to happen. Their engagement banquet was postponed, citing Gloria and Evan's engagement banquet as the reason for the delay. I instructed to prepare a separate table for them, closer to the stage so they could see clearly who didn't belong and who stood with whom. The day of the engagement banquet arrived. Evan kept saying to me, "Gloria, don't be nervous, just be yourself." I watched him struggle with the buttons for the third time. Who was actually nervous here? On the other end, my dad wiped non-existent tears, telling my mom, "Congratulations, congratulations." My mom replied, "Same joy, same joy." Then they embraced, tears of joy. She's finally getting married. I was wearing a simple dress for photos, walking to the hall to catch some air before going back to change into the wedding dress. Unexpectedly, as soon as I reached the entrance of the banquet hall, I ran into the four fools. Maria and Vincent sized me up. "Are you here to make trouble at Evan's engagement banquet?" Maria's parents smiled awkwardly on the side. "Do you even know your place to dare interrupt?" I didn't want to say much and tried to walk away, but Vincent blocked my path. "Gloria, aren't you Evan's woman? He must be feeling guilty now. Tell him to cooperate with me. I'll give you a lot of money." I chuckled at him. "Vincent, didn't you say you wouldn't ask me for help again? Looks like you're really desperate now." Vincent, embarrassed and angry, said, "If you don't help me, you won't have a good ending either." Just then, my parents appeared, and a crowd immediately gathered around, trying to strike up a conversation with them. Maria bravely stepped forward. "Uncle, it's me, Maria." My dad asked, "Who are you?" Maria hesitated. "Maria from the construction company. You invested in us before." Maria and her parents hurriedly said, "We've been trying to meet with you many times, but your secretary said you were busy." Before they could finish, my dad interrupted, "I withdrew the investment because I need the money." Maria's father, relieved, asked with hope, "Do you need the money to invest in something? What business are you looking to invest in?" My dad casually joked, "Buying dog food to feed the dogs." Vincent asked Maria, "Didn't you say our families were close friends?" Maria, ignoring him, desperately pointed at me to my dad, claiming, "Evan used to keep her as a mistress. Isn't this worth investing in?" People around wore expressions like, "Where did this lunatic come from?" In fact, if Vincent and Maria had taken one step into the hall, they would see pictures of me and Evan everywhere. But they chose the worst timing to cause a scene at the entrance. To those who already knew Gloria's true identity, they seemed like clowning fools, and no one took their words seriously. Before my dad could say anything, Evan's cold voice rang out. "You dare point fingers at Gloria with your dog's paws? Weren't you the one who lurked outside my company, crying and begging to marry me no matter what?" The room fell silent after his words. Vincent looked incredulous. "Maria, you betrayed me." Seeing Vincent's failed dream of his company going public, Maria tore the veil. "Vincent, did you really think you were a promising stock? With your sorry company, my downstairs rag picking is more profitable. Why would I ever marry someone like you? Then, she turned to Evan, how about considering me, that rich heiress hidden for years, who knows if she's too ugly to show her face? Mr. John, who came to attend the engagement banquet, couldn't stand it. Are you out of your mind? The main characters of today's wedding are standing behind you. I have to say, Gloria is much prettier than you. Vincent, Maria, and Maria's parents were dumbfounded. After a period of silence, Vincent stammered, Mr. John, who are you talking about? Mr. John impatiently said, Gloria. How do you think your company got the qualifications to go public? If it weren't for Gloria's face, who would cooperate with you? If you don't cherish it, then wait for bankruptcy. Someone added, if Gloria's father hadn't invested in your family bearing Gloria's face, you would have fallen into the mud long ago. Ingrates. The four fools wore expressions of disbelief and denial. I took Evan's hand and walked up to them, saying, thanks for the lesson. The simple life of a wealthy second generation suits me better. The position of the president's wife in your sorry excuse for a company is not for me. And you don't have the qualifications to be Gloria's husband. Then I turned around, and Evan put his arm around my shoulder. Let's go. Time to change clothes. After the engagement banquet, news kept coming about Maria and Vincent. Maria's financial problems were everywhere and she had to leave the city with only an empty shell left. She ended up marrying a 50-year-old wealthy businessman, but life was tough as he would often verbally and physically abuse her. Vincent's company quickly went bankrupt and was liquidated. His whole team was taken in by Gloria's family company. Vincent tried to stop me outside the company building a few times, kneeling down and begging for my forgiveness. He kept saying things like, you two were just engaged, I still have a chance. I didn't take his craziness to heart, but Evan wasn't happy. Somehow, he managed to have Vincent sent back to his hometown. Evan and I got married soon after. After the wedding, Evan became even more attentive. Whenever we visited my parents, he always insisted on cooking, while I acted as the taste tester on the side. My parents were very pleased. Evan would jokingly tell me, if you don't agree to marry me, I might end up getting food poisoning from your mom's cooking. I laughed and said, but you always eat so happily. Evan rubbed my nose and said, well, in order to marry you, I have to endure some hardships. Otherwise, how can I qualify to stand by your side?